Hey there everybody, Pop on Top here. Welcome back to some more Fallout 4 mods. In today's mod, we got a mod called Dense Landscape. If you can't see, the landscape is dense. It's filled with all kinds of little grasses and bushes and all kinds of things, and my frame rate is not doing very well. You might notice some slight lurchy stutteriness. For sure, this mod is heavy, but I have put it on the maximum setting. That's the next gen update though. That's the freezing there. But this is definitely very heavy grass. I am definitely getting significantly lower frames. I'm playing on the next gen version of the game, obviously, and it would be worse for you if you're not on the next gen version of the game. But we also are, I guess you can't see it here, we are targeting performance, right, as a display option. Even we're trying my best to let this huge chunk of grass and things doesn't load in particularly far away either. Like even at max settings here, I wanted to show it off at its best. Obviously you can see off there in the distance it's not really loaded in. It's very dense when you're close, but you can see it when you're in this long distance visually. Even still kind of draw in. You can kind of see where my dot crosshair little area is out there, where it's kind of drawing into the distance, and it is affecting performance. Now we're gonna walk around some more. We're gonna look at some more things. It does look pleasant. I mean, I've never been a huge person for grass and stuff anyway. I'm not like even like a fan of like Skyrim's nature things, but this is huge. I mean, obviously when you're in it, it's not, you can see like texturally when you get up close to it, it's not like particularly like we can kind of fade into it and stuff. It's flat textures, but there's just so goddamn much of it that it's having a tough time. Now it's just, I could just feel the performance. Like me, I mean, there's a stutter. There's some more stutters. It's definitely not helping with that, I would say. I'm a big performance junkie. Now, the next gen update is actually kind of harm performance. There's different looking grass. Like, there's some dead looking grass. This is like more colorful. It's got like the reddish tones to it. Got some more rocks in here too. Like this entire landscape. Now, this is the maximum setting. So just making sure that guy isn't going to fuck with me. Is that a bear? That sounded like a fucking bear. It's probably a deer. I get him confused. Yeah, it's a red thing. You can't even see that deer in there. It's in there. There's some bugs here. Get fucked, bugs. Okay, but like as you see here, you're not getting a benefit to stealth here, because technically this bug shouldn't be able to see, and I should be able to much easier sneak around here. It's just a visual difference, right? Like it's not a functional difference. So what we're gonna do, if I can find the fucking bug, the game just feels worse to play. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like it's constantly not hitting its 60 frames per second target. Now it is dense though. This is extremely dense. This is insane. So we're gonna kind of mix around. There's 4 different levels. Okay, so this is the maximum level. This is like your maximum density of your landscape here. I like the shorter little grass. That's kind of nice. I like that look a little bit better than some of this really thick stuff. But obviously it's not just grass in general and stuff. But we're gonna show off the differences between the different things. Now obviously if we go into downtown Boston and that kind of area, right, there's going to be a lot less grass. We're going to start here and work our way in. There should be a lot less grass, right? There's a lot less grass to see. The performance loss should be less significant. Not that there's not performance loss kind of as it is. So as you see here, right, like really no grass at all. Like there's a little bit of extra bushes here, but we're fine. I mean, there's definitely some extra grass in here, but this isn't harming performance now. Like this where I'm getting a lock solid 60 frames per second. Keeping an eye on it for you guys so you can see. But like we get a little bit out of Boston here, we start getting deeper into the grass. I'm imagining it's going to get a little bit worse. Like the further you get away, I mean this is still actually holding up. It's pretty fine. Like these little like, no, we're losing it now though. But like the seconds you get in it, it's awful. I am not 60 frames per second. We're dropping into the 40s for sure, easily. And this is just flat textures, right? Like and you can't see anything. Like I can't snipe through this or anything like that. I can't see the enemies. The enemies can, I don't think, get affected by visibility. They can see you. Obviously, we're still getting the next gen update stutters, but I think like that's definitely making them harder than I'm used to them being. Yeah, the denser the grass, the more we get out. So like it does affect things in a way where you can see the difference. Obviously, if you're a player that plays at something like you target like something like 30 frames per second, I bet you, or 40 even, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not into that. Like the higher frames the better. I'm a big frame rate nerd, so it's tougher for me to express. You know, like be like, oh yeah, that's fine. It's not fine to me. But if you do play on the last gen versions, you definitely can't run this one. This one is even not recommended for anybody playing on a hard drive unless you have a solid state drive. And Deathclaw, bear claw. That's a donut. Don't worry about the donuts. Yeah, but you know, we get deeper into Boston, we'll get a performance right back. We're real low right now, though. Like in the low 40s. So, but if in the low 40s, if that's the lowest point you get? If you were targeting 40 frames per second as a thing. Like as soon as we get out of it, too. Like the landscape still is here denser too. We can see these rocks are not normally belonging here, but this is not nearly affecting performance as much as that grass is. And like, no, I'm not helping you right now, Raider Lady. All the way up here to Diamond City. Now, because the Boston area, the downtown area, is kind of like very narrow alleyway end of the road stuff, you can't really see the impacts of the low draw distance. Like this is just, the shadows are just normal. That's just the next gen update in performance mode. They don't just draw very far away. This is what it is. There's definitely more grass in here though. I can definitely see a lot more stuff to see, and this is holding up. This part right here has been holding up performance wise. Now we might get deeper into Boston. We still get these stutters. This is great. This is a great next gen update. But yeah, definitely some thicker grass in here. Like this rubble here too. This like brick rubble was not ever there. More brick rubble on this side. But the brick rubble and stuff doesn't seem to harm performance very much. Some shots over here. We'll investigate a little bit. I don't mean to make this too much of a shooting things video. As a scavenger, that's probably not a hostile. This apparently is a bitch though. Definitely a lot more grass in here though. But the more of the grass, the more the frames drop. The grass usually seems to be the killer of the things, right? Like the rubble. Oh man, it is lurchy too. Like, but they do warn you this is the hardest. I wanted to go hardest first, the most impact, to see if we can make it somewhat better. Now, there's like I think high, low, and then very low. I think we're just gonna go straight down to very low next, and then we'll work our way back up from there. If I feel like low is even worth using right now. I mean, the grass is really nice. The rubble's all kinds of crazy. Like, look, I mean, it's literally everywhere. This is very easy, very clear to see. Not clear for me to see the fucking dogs rushing me though. But like things will hide in this, but it doesn't count as a visibility. Like they can see through it, which is nasty. That's nasty as it is. So yeah, I'm gonna cut away real quick. I'm gonna put like a different, like I said, probably the very low version, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit. All right, everybody, we have the very low version of the mod installed. No, you. I mean, if you want to hide behind that, that's your problem. I'll just keep moving. The landscape is still denser. This is for sure. Like, even on very low here, we're still density. The resolution of this stuff is lower, though. It does look less good, the rubbly stuff. But this is much better in performance already. Now, obviously, we're back in still downtown where the performance is pretty good. You can still definitely see some more rubble and stuff around. This is very low, I remind you. Like, the lowest setting that the game will, or the mod exists in. So it does have very low, medium, high, and max. We just had max on just to see like what the worst case performance scenario is. Now we're gonna run around. Obviously you can see this stuff here. I don't need to point it out too much. All these little rubbly things are the most. We're gonna try to get back out of the downtown area though, back into some grassy stuff. See how much that's hitting. I'm the type of person, like I mentioned before, that I would very much like my performance to be high. I will give up grass. I will lower graphic settings, resolution, whatever it takes to get better performance. Now, I definitely think the density of this graph. I'm trying to go kind of back out the way we kind of came in, kind of. There is some stuff here, but it is not nearly as much, and the performance is much better. Now, I think I'm going to test out the setting in between. Still the lurching though. That's the next gen update, but that lurch doesn't feel as bad. It's not as long, but there's definitely less grass overall. Like there's more grass than the vanilla game for sure. And we still get some of these little bushes here, and this is still tanking our frame rate. It's still this shit, the super density stuff, like wherever it's real dense, regardless, it's dropping frames just as much. Like this is not any better. I'm gonna look into more of what like the changes between very low, and all this stuff is, but this is still bad for the frames. I'll tell you what, it very much is. It's just a like, and I don't think it. I mean, visually it looks kind of nice. Like it looks cool that you can see all these things. You got the rocks. I've covered the rock and rubble version of this. It just added better rocks, which didn't hurt performance at all. You just had more rocks all over the place, which is something. But you really want like a landscape built of rocks and these little bushes. These ones dropping the fuck out of frames. I dropped to 40 frames a second there as I went down into those things. Right, like. But this is better overall. There's like you're not gonna find as many hot pockets of. But you're still definitely dropping. I mean, you're dropping frames anyway. I want to get it clear. Like, this is not a perfectly held frame rate type of game. But the density is definitely lower. Like, there's a lot less thickness to the grass. And for that, you get more frames. You get, so you can balance your settings here. We're going to go to medium after this, like right in the middle. I'm not going to test out every little setting. I will leave a link down in the description to all the different settings, though, in case you want to try them for yourself. It depends on what you're looking for out of the mod, right? Are you tolerant? You really, really want that maximum density. You want the game to look fucking insane. There was a huge difference. It was like, I don't necessarily think it's to a benefit because, to me, it's not a gameplay benefit to have that kind of settings going on. Let's go back to my Red Rocket gas station. I do like, that spot was like, even the Red Rocket, like all the way up to the building was completely covered in grass. Like everywhere you could see grass. It's still loaded in. I don't know if the LOD's going to be any different here. The grass is still definitely here. This grass doesn't normally exist. It's definitely lower resolution, and my frames are still dropping here. Not as much, but they do say that in the mod too. Like, so it's a compromise. But I think regardless with this mod, you're giving up performance, which makes it hard for me to be into. I'd rather have mods that increase my performance rather than decrease it. I don't care about grass. I do think it looks cool. Like, I know for some people really like having their game look fucking crazy. They don't want to play at 30 frames per second or something anyway. That you're for one of those people, right? For sure. But you can even see here, like the grass is a lot shorter grass, which is helping performance in this particular spot. But the load's about the same. No, maybe it's a little bit closer to you. It's for sure. I think I was way up on this hill when this started loading it. So like the load's worse. Performance is slightly better here. Now let's go. We still get the thick grass. Going into this at all is still gonna probably mess with my performance, especially if you crouch in it. Like, if you look right. No, this one's actually fine. This spot, this particular red bushy stuff. So the performance is better. Very low. You're giving up texture quality of the grass. You're giving up density of the grass. It still stutters. Double stutter. Thanks, next gen update. This fucking brown shit though, I don't know what it is about this sticks. Like the non-vegetative plants, right? Like just the brown sticks here. This shit just eats performance. Dropping easily down to the 50s and 40s, a little bit lower. But it looks similar. I could definitely tell that the resolution of all this stuff is lower. Let's go to medium and see what that looks like, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright everybody, here we are, medium setting. So I don't know how much this is really making a difference. For my first impressions here, the performance is still dropping. Get out of here, red stick. Yeah, the density doesn't seem to vastly change too much. The bot also does list that like your loading times are going to be longer. The denser this stuff tears it up. I'm dropping down to 40. This is horrible, and this is horrible for visibility. This is not fun to play in. I don't like. If you like it, that's your prerogative. Unfortunately, it's my channel, so I can say what the fuck I want to say. I'm allowed to have my fucking opinions, and this is bullshit. Who wants to play in this? This is not fun to play as a video game. I'm sitting right exactly at the spot, 44-ish, 44-ish FPS. Like I said, if you play 40 frames per second, you could lock that. I'm sure you could still get there. I could even probably show that off as a thing. This medium setting isn't, I would say, even that much better than very low as a setting. You're still getting big drops in performance. These fucking things. If I can look straight at the ground, I can get it back up. I get the frames back up. I can look at the sky, and then the grass doesn't even exist. And then I'm rock solid 60 up here. I can feel it though. Oh, see, like I can feel it as I pan the camera, right? Like I can feel. So if I look up here and I start spinning around in a circle, this is very smooth. I get down. I don't know if you guys can know. I don't know if the video recording shows it off very well. I dropped down into the 30s there for a second. Like 30 something FPS. So even if you try to lock at 40, you might still get some frame rate drops with this kind of mod on. It's pretty insane. We're gonna keep going around though with a medium setting. Obviously, if you're on like a last gen console or something like that, I would not recommend any of these things. The game's just not gonna handle it very well. But even here on next gen console, even with performance mode and stuff like that on, like for sure, some of these like the less thicker grass doesn't seem to perform performance as much, but it definitely still is. Okay, Doc, you do keep doing things. Okay. But this shit, this brown fucking, it's not even like very well textured. It just sticks. in the landscape, and it's just absolutely horrendous on your performance. Now, it is a very kind of immersive, but look, I mean, it's like not over there, right? Like, I like to use this particular spot here because it's long draw distances. You can't see any of this shit from here. At least on the medium setting. Maybe on the max setting you could see some, but you could see the draw line. Like, you could see, looking at this shit even is fucking awful. But looking out here, it's just, I mean, like, there's some sticks and then they're not, and then you can watch as we will go down this hill here. Oh, it just kind of flickered in the distance even. The max setting does improve the flickering and stuff. I'm like standing, oh, it's just like my animations look bad. Obviously the freezing is the next gen update. I don't think it 100% has to do with that. But you can just see this stuff draw in, right? It's just, it's actually making me sick. It's gross. It's not great. Like, it's really tall sticks. Did I run into something? There's a rock here. See, I can't even fucking see that. The performance actually is not too bad right in the middle of this. But it's not great for me. Like, I don't want to lose performance or anything. It is a cool mod. I like the concept of it, but I just don't think, for whatever reason, Fallout 4 can handle it very well. And I think this is true. I think it's just Bethesda's engine, because, like, even in games like Starfield, which came out recently and I played through, anytime you had a planet that had very dense grass, they did a very good job of making the grass much better in that game, especially on certain planets. But that would be where your performance was the worst, like, no matter circumstantially. Like, besides the towns, obviously, like the big towns in Starfield really drew heavy on their CPU and stuff. But like, the really fucking dense grass just doesn't do great. The Elder Scrolls is going to be rough, you guys, I promise. Because it's going to have grass. It's going to have green grass. It's going to have all kinds of plants and stuff. And this obviously doesn't even affect the trees, right? This just makes things more visual noise, which is actually like a detriment too. I would actually don't like this because I talked about, like, I can't see something, right? And it looks really weird when you get all, like, in here. In any way, like, you get the max setting. But, you know, I will leave a link down in the description still to all 5 versions of this if I remember to. If I don't remember to, leave a comment, let me fix it. But yeah, it's just visual clutter. It's just stuff to look at, right? Like, and it doesn't provide any actual gameplay benefits. It makes your performance worse, which makes me feel really bad, particularly. So yeah, you guys let me know though. Are you into mods like this? Or do you like having more plants, more, like, obviously I think it'd be important to have stuff that's actually there, like impactful. Like, if I was in this, I would maybe an argument made if I was in this and it was like give me like a sneak bonus, right? Like, I was sneaking through here and I could use this, like, almost like, you know, they put what is it, like bushes and tall grass all in like stealth games like Assassin's Creed or whatever. If you could do that and then use this, I mean, obviously I can go third person and then you can kind of see your character, but the frames, baby. I don't know why, but this game's like got better performance in third person. It's because, like, looking right at it, this textures is not great, but looking right at it like that, straight on, is actually makes the performance. You can see your character better in the third person here, but even then, I try to aim, and all I see is grass. Like this, how are you supposed to play the video game like this? That's my opinion of this. Okay, I'm a hater sometimes, man. I hate this shit. I don't like it. That's me. I'm allowed to. You can tell me your opinion down in the comment section down below, and I'll tell you why you're wrong if you want to argue about it. Don't argue. That's the lesson there, you guys. It's my channel. I can say what I want. But yeah, if you do want to check it out, I'll leave it, like I said, leave a link to all the different versions of this mod down in the description, at the top of the description. Both the console version on Bethesda 99 page and the Nexus mod version. We'll see if I can find that. If you guys have enjoyed the video, leave a like rating down below. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. That way you can check out more videos from me. And pretty much other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, whatever it may be, and I will see you in the next episode.